Mana is not in this run. It's just not a mana run at all. You're just one-shotting Ben. You're just literally biting his head off. Are they all attacking you? What the hell is this? Alright, do that. Yeah, Ben's gotta eat shit again. Rip Ben. Yeah, the undo button. Well, the whole point of this game is the undo button. The undo button is incredibly important. Just in case. Like, the thing that I love about this game is it just lets you play, right? It doesn't expect you to work it out on your head. It doesn't expect you to strategize 4 or 5 turns so hard that you have to write it down or you get punished for misremembering. It just says, go fucking play the game. That's why I love this game. It's complex enough that an undo button doesn't make it look like, ooh, baby game. It's a complex enough game that this helps you reorganize and rethink things because the game is hard enough to make you go back and click the undo button. This game is very good. Yes, exactly, Harry. Exactly. Like we were gonna do a video talking about Slice and Dice today. Like I was gonna go on a little monologue to get myself a little bit more YouTube content. And that's something that, like, it's very easy to get lost in the mentality. Knowing as someone who is building a game, it is really hard to get lost in the mentality of making a game be both complex and accessible, right? It can be really tough to do that, right? Because sometimes complexity is attributed to perfect play, right? Like, think about Pokemon. Pokemon's a really easy example. Before Gen 7, you had to remember what stat raises and lowers happened. You didn't have that information on you. Gen 7 comes around, and the information is now displayed. How many stats are dropped, how many turns are left on weather, like the field effects. It's reminding people because it's taking away something. It's taking away an element of the game that you don't need because it doesn't make you a better player. It just means that you have a better memory. And for some people, like me, or many other people who I can attest to, it can be a big turnoff when a game, of course, ignoring time, because, you know, a game built in 2010, not going to be thinking about this, but now as we move forward with games that are now being built modern day, like 2022 Slice and Dice, right? The great thing is we have started thinking about what elements of a game are not equated to skill. And memory is not equated to skill, unless it's a memory game, right? Unless it's a game literally built around wanting to remember things. This game is numbers. It's about crunching numbers, seeing the interactions, figuring out what is the most optimal way going forward. So an undo button, seeing how the numbers add up on you and all that stuff, all of that matters. Which means not having an undo button would be really weird. So that's what I appreciate about this game. This game makes it where someone who plays it casually, I can play on normal, I can go through all of my blunders, make really weird plays, and undo it, and just keep experimenting and seeing what works best. Someone who's complex, who plays at a higher difficulty, they don't have to worry about remembering what's going to interact where and what's going to chain. They can go back and keep going through the rerolls and going from there. Because the gameplay is hard enough, or is varied enough, where it's for all skill levels. So that's why. It's just a really well done game. It makes a ton of sense. Yeah, like can you imagine? I still remember watching competitive Pokemon when they had notepads to write down stat boosts. Like, they'd write down team comps. It's fine to have a piece of paper to write your own notes, but holy crap, like, these guys are, like, down there writing, all right, +2, all right, do the math. Like, when you're in heat of battle, you going from +2 to -1, you might be like, well, duh, 2 minus 3 is -1. But when you're interacting with competitive play, that's a detail that doesn't need to be done by you. That doesn't add to the skill, right? You see it a lot with MOBAs as well. You're seeing a lot, like, with the details and stuff like that, so you don't have to crunch the goddamn numbers for yourself to understand it. The numbers are crunched for you because at the end of the day, it's expression of skill in a MOBA. It's not, do you know all of our calculations? It's fine to want to have pride in that. You can turn it off, right? I don't think, what can I turn off in this? I forget. You can turn off Where is it? I thought there's something I could turn off in this game to, like, remove. Like, there are games where you can turn off intents, or you can turn off certain information. That's fine, because that's still accessibility. So if you want to be that Kaizo-ish kind of person, then go for it. It's not making the games softer, or gamers softer. Like, it's not anything like that, right? It's very simply, you're keeping the brain loose and limber for strategies that you care about more, right? The game is complex enough that it is a good thing, and no one's going to complain about it. Because if you're saying, well, this game is really strange, if it has hidden information, you can't crunch it, but you need to crunch it, that's the problem with the game. If you have another game where the game is very simply solved by a button or a mechanic that you put in that shouldn't be there, then equally is a problem with the game. So this game's just like, yeah, you're going to have enough things to worry about, and we're going to make sure that the game plays well enough that you have enough things to worry about. So here's an undo button. This game is masterful. It is a very well thought out and caring game for all player levels. And you don't have to use you don't have to do an undo button. Good luck with that. Personal preference and customization. On top of the fact that this game has so much generation, my heart jumps with joy. Like, look at this. Look at the number of percentages of everything happening. I love this button especially, the 5 to 20%. And the pure 1 to 6 rolling. Love it. Absolutely adore it. This game is a hit. It's a steal for its price. Think about that. This game had enough complexity to keep my attention while I was in a hospital for days, and whenever I'm in pain and lying in bed, I play this game. Why? Because it's not so hard that I have to sit there and remember numbers and I get exhausted passing out with my phone slamming into my face while I'm on my water pillow. Nor is it easy enough where I'm just mindlessly clicking and I'm focusing on the pain. The game has an excellent balance and a good difficulty curve whether you play on normal, if you care about playing on easy, heaven, or you want to play on brutal. It doesn't matter. The game is not afraid to give you options. It's so good. Yes, options are the answer, hero. 100%. It's options. The game gives you 22 different game modes? Even if you only see 3 of them or 2 of them on Twitch. It gives you so many game modes to go have fun with, just to experiment and learn combos that you want to potentially do. You can make a custom party with 4 cats and 1 character because cats don't level up. You can just keep leveling up the same character for 10 intervals just to see how ridiculous that gets. And that's a challenge in itself because the game is challenging enough that every mode has its own challenge because the game is so well balanced. It's so well designed. You can play in all these different ways, and the game still feels like a different game, but the same thing where you're still trying to make it through and navigate the RNG and your team comp. How often have you said that in the past 5 years for roguelikes? Not often, I bet you. There are not a lot of games that can scratch the pure random itch like this game can. This game definitely does it right. Now, what do I do here?